Hello everyone, it's your favorite Resident Evil Chibi here. So there's been a lot of drama on this video that's been coming up, and see right here, this dude's tweeting out, oh, calling Ari remake soulless what? I mean, there's a lot of problems with everything, but I'm here to set the thing straight. I'm gonna review this video myself. I'm gonna talk some things about it. I'm actually already working on a review. It's in progress. I'm about nearly finished, sorta. I just gotta do one more playthrough, and then I can get the platinum so I can give my full thoughts. But I actually want to go over and get some of the stuff aside. I want to cover a bit of the visuals and the audio, whilst also comparing the original and the new one, so then I can use this later. I did originally want to make this into 4 different pieces covering it, or 3, but I might do it just, I mean, Crowbar's already done most of the work for me, so this will make this a lot easier. I might make this into 2 parts. We'll see how long this is. Not a big firm believer of having videos over 15 minutes long, but that's me. And I just want to set the record straight and talk about, so one thing for sure that everyone's been talking about that I want to get out the way immediately, that everyone's complaining about, is right here, that GMan leaves pretty well-known YouTuber. So this is like, oh, it's talking about the audio, right? Everyone's complaining that he's messed with the audio, right? So this is a comparison, right? I think the original sounds better, in my opinion. And apparently this was like, you couldn't hear that much. It was very subtle, right? That's what the whole thing was, and that it just didn't sound as good, which I agree. And an editor has called it out. You see, like, oh, usually Crowbar's video, a lot of the distinguishes don't even match up, and then he goes and he increases the audio from the video, which already is like, wait a second. But Crowbar himself has even commented, like, lowering the sound, whatever. So basically, the first thing I want to get out the way, let's get that rumor out the way. Did he actually mess with the audio? Personally, my guess is that he didn't. I'm gonna keep it real. It's on, and even as someone who's an editor, unbiased for you as an editor, it's always made my... We're gonna go ahead and disassemble that right now. I mean, you guys are hitting it right now, so I should mention that on my Streamlabs, this is what the current audio will sound like. We're gonna leave it like this for a minute, right? This is my audio levels. I always have -20, so you can hear me over the game, right? We're gonna let it full blast, but it might also not be accurate, and I'll give you what I hear. See, and that's the thing I want to establish right off the way. What you hear because of your setup and what you have on capture are 2 very different things. Let's get that established out the way so we can give, you know, if you want to be unbiased, you truly have to look at it from so many different ways. And this is why I'm here. I'm truly unbiased. I'm giving you guys, the audience, an actual full clear idea of what the hell is actually happening. I don't know what capture card he's using, how old it is, what his PC thing is, and what audio setup he's using, because even GMan mints. And I should also mention, the audio could be different because I've played on PC and on console, and I tend to find that on PC, the audio tends to get more fucked than on console. I don't know why. That's specifically my setup. Crowbar could have the same thing. But anyways, just to further establish, so we'll go into the options, right? I mean, right? You guys hear the music. Go to audio. This is by default what it's set at. Everything, this is what Capcom has intended. I should mention that another thing, oh, you could also mess with the ballistics. Personally, I think I had this at large. And I am currently wearing headphones, so I have it set to headphones. I could set it to home theater or TV low pitched. Like, see, look at this. And that's the other thing is, I don't think they mentioned whatever, but more than likely, if he didn't mess with the audio, he hit it at TV, which is pretty ass. So we're gonna actually have a head comparison too. But I will leave it to where it's at. That is my current setup, and it's not that bad. And I find it weird because the audio is pretty generally good in these games, right? So hopefully we can change the audio so we can get a comparison. And we'll go to one of the exact places. You know, this right here, classic audio from RA. By the way, that's a thing in this game. So this is what it normally would sound like. So let okay, I'm gonna stop talking, let you guys be the judge, and see how much better this sounds from the original when we compare it. Like, this is how it sounds, right? Now let's boost the audio. The settings. This is TV. I don't hear that much of a difference personally. Now let's try. Alright, look, I'm a computer with you guys. I don't hear a fucking difference. But that's not the point of this. Let's switch the audio to non-classic. So let's let that atmosphere sink in to see how right he is about the original soundtrack. Now, first, before we switch, let's actually look at the comparison. So we saw what it sounded like earlier, right? With the original audio and on the new game. Now, this is what he had. Like, see, that's what it sounds like. Louder, more distinct, more subtle. Now, pay attention to how it sounded like, right? So that's that version. Now, let's switch over to this version. Here we have from my perspective. So here's this one. Now I want to hear it back to back with the other one. You guys can hear the audio in the background, so it might be a bit weird. Shut up, Leon. Dead ass, it does sound about the same, actually. Let's play that back a bit. Yeah, I'm looking at my audio levels. They are literally exactly the same. Yeah, no, they're literally exactly the same. And as we established, there's not that big of a difference in the audio. Home theater, right? That one's not the most different, I think. It's like slightly higher. I'm looking at my decibel counter here. It's slightly higher. You guys hear that pitch in the background? I barely notice it here. And dude, Crowbar has actually stated that he's had to put it up by 2 decibels. Yeah, actually, now that I look at the sound chart, he did go it up just a little bit, but they're near identical. So, I mean, I can show you. Look, you guys can see it yourselves right down here. See the desktop audio? Let me play the audio back just for you guys. So you guys can see it for yourselves that we debunked. He did not mess. He barely even messed with the audio. Sadly, Ashley and Leon's bitch ass got in the way and saying shit. So. You guys notice there is not that big of a difference. So first things off, debunked. He did not mess with the audio like at fucking all. If anything, he made it so we can hear better. And I want to mention another thing. I guess something I wanted to do at the end is, I think he's trying to make more so of a point. It's not even so much about like, oh, and we've established for me, I have not messed with anything, and I'm representing what the general is, and I'm on console too, so I know it's not my fucking PC setup or some weird shit. And oddly enough, I forgot to mention my capture card tends to make things a bit fucking louder for some reason. So that's why I had it at -20. Right? Like, see, so this is what I normally hear. This is what you would normally hear when I'm streaming. This is what the average person who's watching a stream is going to hear. Not this. See, there's the thing. Can you even hear it? Like, yeah, because it'll be too loud. So yeah, so my stuff is boosted, and even then, boom, look at that. So, debunked. He did not mess with the audio. If anything, he did, like you said, 2 decibels. Bruh. So he's actually making it better than the original. So let that sink in. He's giving the original better audio. Or it's louder. I wouldn't say it's better, because I'll say this much. As far as the audio, it's more about subtlety. I kind of dig some of the subtlety, but I feel it is a bit too quiet. I think it's a bit too subtle. I don't mind the direction of the subtlety. I think it's a bit too much, though. That's what I can think. But where I'm going to give my full thoughts on it right once we get this. Now we get to the infamous clip that GMan himself has edited, and let's take a look. This is what he did, right? Then he went and boosted the audio, right? This is apparently what it is. You know, you can hear it a lot more. This is what is in Crowbar's video. That's the same, right? It's not the same. Or it is the same, I mean. Then. And we've established he definitely didn't mess with it. And I'm not in the exact part, but here is what I see. You guys hear the wind? I know I'm in the rain, so that's gonna cock block it. I can hear it, but barely. You hear the wind? I hear it, even the creaking. See, I heard it. Now, some of you might be like, oh, it's not a one-to-one comparison because it's not the rain is overjoining it. Exactly. That's the point he's trying to make. It's a bit too quiet, too subtle. If if it was as audible as like, here, remember, here's the OG. Here's the OG. Here is the OG wind effect. And then there's the... I can hear the weird shit, right? Like, it's fine for it to be subtle, but it's too subtle to where if you should be able to add rain effects, and you do in the original, you can still hear the wind go. With the rain doesn't drown out the wind. So in this case, again, I'm just proving him right even more, right? So let that sink in. I guess this will be its own video, so let me get to the full video of the review. Like I said, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but yeah, that's debunked. Crowbar didn't really mess with the audio. If anything, he made the things that should have stand out more. He really fucking did. He didn't lie. He did increase the decibels by 2. Like, holy shit.